of course he's shown us enough. The body of work, when Purdy entered into the game in that Miami one, he goes out there, he chucks 2 touchdown passes. He hasn't blinked. He continues to perform each and every week. It was like, all right, the next week, all right, well, let's see him as a starter. He goes out there. Brock Purdy has not lost a game yet. On top of that, this guy's thrown 13 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions. So, yes, we can keep going and say, all right, well, he's never played in a playoff game. All right, now he has to face Seattle Seahawks again. He's already done it once. Can he do it again? Now they know him. There's going to be so many different tests until he conquers them. So we should have confidence because he hasn't given us any reason to doubt. And then when you look at the other quarterbacks in the NFC and what it's going to take for him to get to the Super Bowl and make a run, you guys tell me. There's doubts on everybody on the screen. Jalen Hurts just came back off an injury. They barely squeaked past the Giants' backups this past week. Tom Brady, we know he's the GOAT. He's the guy. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have not played good football for the entire season. Dak Prescott, as you go down the line, all we've talked about is the last game where he's thrown so many interceptions. He threw the pick 6 to Kyle Fuller this past one. Go on to Kirk Cousins. There's a whole storybook about Kirk Cousins. Kyle Brandt's probably the only guy defending him in sports media. And then you go on to Daniel Jones. The question mark is he going to be the Giants quarterback of the future? Does he have enough? And then Geno Smith, as well as he's played this season, there's still a ton of doubt on how Seattle finished the season. So for Brock Purdy in that NFC, with his defense that he has on the other side, with the way Kittle has played down the stretch, we don't have a reason to doubt him right now because he has performed well when he's gotten his opportunities.
You know what's crazy? Rodgers isn't on that screen.
I don't know.
It's weird. That's all those guys, and Rodgers, who was healthy all season long, or more or less played in every game, didn't make it. But you're making a great point. Why not Purdy? To me, it's bigger than this game. Like, if they lose on Saturday, it would be a shocking upset, right? We enter next offseason, it's like Purdy or Lance, Purdy or Lance. If they win and they win again, I'm going that much forward. That's what I think. Like, Brock Purdy is that established that I think he will challenge Trey Lance for the starting job next year, a former number 3 overall pick who has been crowned the guy not only once before, but for years as the future. Here comes Mr. Irrelevant. How do you take the rock out of Purdy's hands? It reminds me a little bit about Brady and Bledsoe. Brady was a 6th-round pick, and he went and had this miracle Super Bowl run, and the following year, Belichick's like, I'm going with Brady. I'm not going with Bledsoe. I don't care how much money we played Drew. And everyone was shocked at the time, and it was the right decision. Brock Purdy is about to embark on a 4-game journey right now, and I don't think they're going to be one and done. I think we're showing Trey Lance here. I think it's a 4-game journey. I think Brock Purdy can get this team to the Super Bowl. And if they do that, we might be talking about Brock Purdy as the guy in San Francisco. In fact, I think most Niners fans would say it's a non-starter if he does it. What a story it's been for 2022. To me, this story is about the future of the San Francisco 49ers as a whole. You lose this game, that job's not yours next year. It's a fight. You got to battle Trey Lance.
What do you think he has to do? What if he wins the wild card, loses the divisional? Like, what is the cutoff?
I think it's a battle then next year. It's a training camp.
What if he wins the divisional and gets to the title game?
It's a 4-game journey. Every knock along the way is less of an argument to be loyal to Trey Lance, who you drafted in the draft 2 years ago.
Because Brady won the whole dang thing. There was no conversation. You had to go to it.
That's what's interesting about this. I'm not trying to dismiss the Seahawks here. I think Brock Purdy's been amazing. I told you on Monday's show that I think he's the Offensive Rookie of the Year despite only playing in 6 games. That's how much I think of Brock Purdy. You lose this game, though, Trey Lance has an argument next year. Hey, I'm a number 3 overall pick. I was injured. Let me fight for this thing. Purdy's job if he starts winning some of these things.
You know, you were running through the 49ers quarterback competition. All I'm thinking of is like, what about Jimmy?
I know. He still might be back.
I will never believe he's going to be gone until he's gone. All right, so listen. You asked if has he erased any doubt whatsoever? Yeah. Of course there's doubts. There's some. I like him too, but like, we're going to the Brady thing. We're going big places here. It's a 23-year-old guy. He's 23. He's played well. He has a great team around him. There's always this time of year what I call the 3rd and 9 test. And that is when you see what someone is made of. This is not smacking around some team the regular season on the Shanahan Express. It is, wow, some team came to fight today that we maybe didn't expect, and maybe it's the Seahawks, and we're in a battle, and there's 3 minutes left, and we're actually down by 2, and Brock Purdy steps up to the line, and it's 3rd and 9. And you can't hand it to Debo or Christian or do one of these cool little plays. You got to step up and make the throw into the teeth of the Seattle defense, and that is when quarterbacks are made. That is when. I have not seen that from him. He still has a lot to prove. In the meantime, I think it's going to be much more about his surrounding cast. Peter, you asked this trivia today. Can you name me this year, the 49ers defense, that good? Can you name me the one running back who has faced the Niners defense who had 100 total yards in the game?
I would assume it's got to be Kenneth Walker, if that's what...
Let's take a look.
Yeah,
it is not Kenneth Walker. Bring up the video of the only running back to get 100. Here we go.
That's funny.
That's interesting.
It's Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
That's the only guy to have done it against the Niners, who is now on the Niners. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to have a huge game. I think the Niners D is going to have a huge game. I think the Brock Purdy story is yet to be written. I think that'll be written in the divisional round, and when he gets a big 3rd and 9, we'll see if he's suddenly the next franchise quarterback of the Niners. I still think he has something to prove.
That's a really fascinating trivia.
Pretty cool, right?
It's like, get him on the team, the guy that beat you. It's like, oh, go out and get Christian McCaffrey after he rushes 100 yards on you. My question with this young quarterback is it him, or to Peter's cool plays bro this week, is it Kyle Shanahan? How long, if it is the coaching and the play calling and I mean this as a compliment, Kyle Shanahan's been propping Brock Purdy up. Brock Purdy's played well, but Kyle Shanahan puts him in really good spots. He gives him a great decision-making tree, if you will. He has done all the right things to put Purdy in the perfect setting. But at one point, the setting is going to be perfect. At one point, like to Kyle's point, he's going to get put into a garbage disposal of a situation where he's got his hands over his ear holes and he's trying to hear and he just can't. And he's like, got to look at the wrist. He's got to go in the huddle. Something's going to happen here. Brock Purdy hasn't played a team twice yet in his short NFL career. He hasn't had a team get film on him, go back, get angry, say, I want to kill this young guy, I want to get after him, I'm going to eat him up, and then have to go out and play that team. It just, this weekend, this 4-game, however long this experience is, it's going to show us a lot. I don't think that, like, it's him now already. He has not, it's been regular season play.
You bring up a good question, though. Like, let's say they do beat Seattle and they're at home and everything. Like, Brock Purdy going into Philadelphia.
Yes, like,
like
you know when
we'll
that scene where he's like, he's looking around the guys and he's like, can anybody hear that?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening?
And it's because he wasn't expected, obviously, to do this. And his college career has no history of, like, him going into these big games and, it's why the NFL's so crazy this season. You look at these quarterbacks. You mentioned this, like, Skylar Thompson starting a game, like Snoop Huntley might start a game. Brock Purdy isn't even a shock when you start looking around the league.
We're not talking, exactly.
Brock Purdy.
Well, that's why I feel like it really, really is like a tip of the cap to Kyle Shanahan and what he's done with them. At some point, it has to become the guy, though.
And to that point, like I was looking, hearing what his teammates say about him. Like he walks in the huddle, if somebody's messing up, tells him to shut the hell up and let him talk. Like I can't remember his name, was his college teammate, a tight end, and he said his freshman year at Iowa State, he comes in there and they put 30 points up in the first half and he goes off on the entire offense because like we can score 60. So it is a lot of Shanahan, and I think just his demeanor, his attitude, hearing the first game he goes out there, Kittle, Debo, and Shanahan all say.
Let me ask you, they win a game this weekend, they go to divisional round, they win another, they get to the NFC Championship game. Is it his job to lose, or is it Trey Lance and him in an open competition?
I still think draft capital is huge. I say it all the time here. Trey Lance is a number 3 pick. It's still going to be a competition. Low-round pick, undrafted, you have to prove yourself every year until you get a second.
Hey, listen, Zach Wilson was number 2 pick. Nobody's singing for him right now. If he gets this right, that's the guy. That's going to be fascinating, though. It's amazing.
It is. This is what I hate about the term that he is referred to as that we don't use on the show anymore, which is the position in which he was drafted. This is Brock Purdy. It's like everyone puts that upon him, like, oh, poor guy, he got drafted last. And, like, to hear that story, like, he has no stance on that whatsoever. He's just like, not poor guy, like, I am the guy. That's just how he lives, it seems like.
Last 2 quarterbacks taken in the 2022 draft, Brock Purdy and Skylar Thompson.
Awesome stat.
Both starting
Here we are.
this week. Listen, by the end of it, Brock Purdy might be the king of that draft. How about draft kings? The wild card